All right. This is Mr. Block. I'm going to be gone from class today, so I'm going to kind of explain what you're going to do to start class. Uh, we're going to be taking bacteria samples from around the school to kind of see what bacteria there are. You probably heard me say it before, but bacteria are everywhere. There's uh, millions of bacteria on you all the time. In fact, probably closer to trillions. Um, they're natural. Trying to avoid bacteria is like trying to avoid air. It really doesn't happen. All right. So what we're going to be doing is you're going to be using these things called petri dishes. Okay, and these petri dishes, they have an agar gel on them that looks like this, and you can take one and maybe pass it around the class uh, and touch and feel it and stuff. It feels a lot like gelatin, and it's a medium that we can use to make our grow bacteria. Okay, so what you're going to do, we're going to have you in groups of 4, and each group are going to get 2 of these big ones like this, and then you're going to get one smaller petri dish that looks like this. Okay, so when you get your petri dish, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get a Sharpie, and you're going to mark an X on the back. You're going to make a quadrant. Okay, so that quadrant is so that you can make take 4 different samples. Okay, so you're going to go around the school, and maybe you go to the library. So on that quadrant, I'd write library. All right, and then I can go there and I can take my sample. Okay, make sure you make the X on the bottom, because if you put it on the lid turns and then you can't tell where it came from. Okay, so you're going to pick 8 spots around the school to go get samples from. And when you do this, we're going to try to use aseptic techniques, okay? Which means we want to try to get the bacteria that we want without getting other bacteria, okay? So in other words, I've already contaminated this when I touched it. It's going to get the bacteria off my hands instead of the bacteria from wherever we are sampling it from, okay? So whenever possible, we're going to keep the lid on this, and we just want to open it just enough to get our sample in and out, okay? To take the samples, we're going to use cotton swabs. This isn't ideal because we should really use sterile swabs like you get at the doctor's office when they stick the thing down your throat when they're swabbing you for like streptococcus and things like that. So you're going to get 8 Q-tips. Okay, when you handle them, try not to touch the tips. We want to try not to breathe on them because otherwise we're getting bacteria from our throat and things like that. So try to do our best to not touch the tips. So if I was going to swab this, my computer itself, I would take the swab and I'd go back and forth across it, and then I'd open up my petri dish just enough, and I'm just going to roll it back and forth across the gel on the inside, keeping it closed as best as possible. Okay, and then I have my first sample. Then I would go to wherever else I'm going to go. All right. When you do this, I want you to do it in the common places in the school. So you can go to the library, you can go to the hallway, water fountains, you can go to the gym, you can go to the mezzanine, and you're basically just going to swab different places. Try to stay out of people's classrooms. Don't go to interrupt Mrs. Albers or anything like that. Also, we don't want to go inside the bathroom. Okay, we don't want to swab the toilets or anything like that because I don't think we want to get that type of bacteria. There's E. coli bacteria that are found in bathrooms and things like that, and those can cause illness. Okay, that's another thing. After you're done with this, you want to wash your hands before you go, and then you want to wash your hands when you're done as well. Okay, after you have your the third one, the small petri dish. This one, you're just going to pick a spot in the school, and you're just going to open it up and leave it there. Okay, and we're going to leave it there for about 30 minutes. You're going to come back after getting your other 8 samples. You're going to watch a video, and then you will let this sit in the air. So we're going to see what kind of bacteria is floating around in the air. Okay, then you'll come back, put the lid on it, and then you'll put it with the others. So when I have my samples, okay, you're going to stack them up like this. Okay, tape them together, put your name on it, and then you're going to go put them in the incubator in the back. It's the thing with the handle, and it's got a thermometer in the top. Okay, it's going to keep them at about body temperature, about 98 degrees, and that's a really good temperature for them to grow. Okay, another thing, you want to put them in there upside down the way I have them now. Okay, when they start to grow and metabolize, they will create condensation, and we don't want them like this, and we don't want the condensation on the gel, so they actually grow upside down on the plates. Okay, then when we come back on Thursday, we will look at them and we will look at the morphology of them. And when I say morphology, we're going to see what types of bacteria we have, like Streptococcus. Coccus means round circles, and strepto means they're in lines. Okay, versus Lactobacillus. Lacto, you probably know, has to do with milk. So lactobacillus is what we use to make yogurt and cheese and things like that. All right, that's a bacterial process. So we can see what type of bacteria that we're going to get on our plates. Okay, the rest of the day you're going to watch a video on viruses. I'm going to send you the link to that, and then you're going to have a virus scavenger hunt that you're going to do as well. Okay, but this will be what you're doing first.